So Peter's making us do this story because he thinks it's going to get us lots of views. We'll find out if he's right. Today we're going to talk about India's VPN providers being forced to turn over information on today's Not So Critical update.
It's true. We picked this story because, I picked this story because I think we might get hits from it. So like and subscribe, all you clickbait.
Totally mercenary.
Addicts there. It is kind of an interesting story. So I can't see the text there, but I'm going to read it out for somewhere else. VPN providers ordered by Indian government to hold all customer data for 5 years and hand it over to the government upon request, which I think is... Yeah.
VPN, like the whole reason you use a VPN is so that the government can't see you, I assume.
Right. So, but the first thing that I thought was, that's going to cost a lot of money to keep all that data for all that time. Like, who's going to pay for that? Is the government going to support that infrastructure? Because otherwise, there's a ton of Indian VPN providers that are going out of business. Like, just the
data storage isn't that expensive.
I don't know. What are we logging? All requests, time made, everything?
Oh, yeah, all traffic. That's true. That could add up pretty quickly.
These services are required to hold and turn over a variety of customer registration information, name, address, contact number, blah, 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 IPs allocated to the user, and their ownership pattern.
So I can already see the problems, like fairly difficult to do effectively. Like, imagine the amount of resources China has poured into their firewall. And even they can't patch every hole. People still get through if you're smart enough. I guess it's a good test to see which VPN providers are like truly not logging,
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to be forced to log it. That's the point of the.
But not okay. If you're doing business in India, because I like what you threw in there, Indian VPN companies, right? I'm a big proponent of Molvad. I love Molvad VPN. They are great. They're Swedish. We're big fans of Sweden here, specifically me, but also I love Molvad. They're a fantastic VPN company, and they accept payment.
We should note that I don't think neither Mike nor myself are actually getting promo like referral codes here or anything. But I think Jon
I will leave the referral link below. But also, no, Molvad. The reason I also like them is you can pay in BTC. I'm pretty sure it's only Bitcoin. Wait. Okay, relax. Hold on.
We need a counter, like number of episodes since Jon mentioned Bitcoin. It'd just be a static image that says 0. That's all we need.
But and the cool thing is, so traditionally you'd sign up, you'd make an account, right? Password, username, email, whatever. Yeah. But Molvad provides you an account number, and that account number is how you authenticate to their servers. So it's both your username and your password, and there's no email associated. You lose that account number, well, then you lost access to your Molvad account. So it's just that account number plus paying them, and you're in.
So there are ways to build these services so that data cannot be compromised, that truly is secure, but then they wouldn't be able to operate in India because it would be in violation of their laws. So
the reason I brought Molvad up, go ahead.
I'm going to say something that's not going to go over well. I was actually thinking today, because we talk about how the argument for these kinds of laws is like, we need to protect the children. And I think I'm just about to the point that I would argue against, I would argue for banning end-to-end encryption altogether. Because I think people are just so terrible. They don't, if people are doing, the only reason for it is to, I want to say the only reason is to do terrible things. I know there are legitimate reasons for it. I don't think they outweigh the uses that people are using to get, like, I don't know how to say, like, people use it frequently for such terrible things. I don't think the trade-off for letting them do that in exchange for having the ability to stay private under other circumstances is worth it. It's not okay. I'm not sure I want to make that deal. I'd like butcher that entire thing, but
but go ahead, Peter.
I was just going to say that we're no longer friends, and I don't want to be on this podcast anymore.
This is the last episode.
And I hate you. So no, seriously, I can't disagree hard enough for so many reasons. First of all, I think you should go and work for an NGO where people who's really, really need easy encryption. Second of all, there are people whose lives have been lost because of this, because it doesn't exist, because their privacy has been invaded, they've been targeted. You know, classic example is like journalists and stuff who've had to hand over their phones and not been able to hide what's been on there. Third, I think it's pointless to ban it because, for also many sub reasons, there's no real definition of what end-to-end encryption actually means. So banning it isn't going to be ineffective.
That won't stop Congress. You need to understand what something means.
Sure. Yeah. The fact that it's not actually technically possible is not going to stop them doing dumb things.
That was my main point. Yeah,
people are just going to work around it immediately. Like they will use end-to-end encryption. There's the classic example. If you remember from years ago, you probably do remember this, Mike, because it's probably just last weekend for you. But the CSS encryption on DVDs, which was hacked.
So fast. Oh yeah.
Hacked, and then it was able to be
just get your little DVD rip software and
that's right. Yeah, DCSS. And you could boil it down to one line of Perl, which fit on a T-shirt. So the rule was that exporting this encryption technology was illegal because it was arms. You were exporting arms, but you can't ban a T-shirt. Stuff like this, you'll have someone come up with an end-to-end encryption solution, which is fits on a bottle cap or something. And
stop hitting your desk, people. We can hear it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Yeah, people are just the worst. They have to ruin everything, and I'm really sick of it.
Including Peter hitting the desk.
I get it.
Okay. Do you just reminded me? Do you guys remember when Windows had a number of region changes for region lock on your DVD drive?
I remember that. Yeah.
It was like a counter. Oh my god, so funny. So yeah, Mike, let's really dig into this. I feel like you've kind of uncovered a personal complex for yourself.
Yeah.
As your friend, I'm here to help you through this. So
God, you're so much more generous than I am, mate.
Jettisoned.
I think we've gotten to a point in encryption, at least, and maybe I'll be wrong in 10 years, but it is so impossibly difficult to crack that. And I understand you said end-to-end encryption, right? So specifically for files in transit being maybe a communication service or data being sent.
Yep.
But just encryption in general is so advanced today that it's going to take a lot to crack said encryption. So if someone's like, they go to Congress, all the right people are like, yeah, this is going to make us a bunch of money. So they pass the law to ban end-to-end encryption. Me and Peter or you or anyone could circumvent these laws. It will not stop the bad people from doing bad things. It will just stop really, really endangered people from doing a good thing safely or more safely, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's the dilemma. I think a huge.
Well, is it a dilemma? Because I just said how it's like. It's the whole take away guns from good people, but bad people will still have guns, right?
That's true, but then they will be criminals because they have guns. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
But they are already criminals, is what I'm saying. Forget about the gun part. People who will use end-to-end encryption to do bad things are already criminals. You cannot remove encryption anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's any better. You're almost convincing me more on that side. It's by bringing up the gun example, it almost solidifies it for me because I think that's a terrible argument for guns, and I think it's a terrible argument for this.
But that's why I said even worse, because there's flaws in the gun argument. But if I'm using a secure, illegal method to communicate as a criminal with another criminal, right?
Yes.
Passing whatever illicit data between us, that doesn't go away now. And not only doesn't it go away, it's so easy to hide it on the web that I will never be caught doing it. Do you
so if it was illegal, one would assume that if you're using encryption, it is for illegal means. But so the dilemma is anonymity is. I think anonymity on social media in particular is a huge part of the problem with social media. So you could say like, well, it has to be anonymous because people need to be able to say things that are unpopular. I get that. But because it's anonymous, people can say all kinds of shit with no accountability. And that's equally as big a problem. I'm saying maybe that's a bigger problem and that's a trade-off.
Well, so South Korea has this law that is like the defamation, anti-defamation and slander laws, where you cannot own accounts online, be it a World of Warcraft account or a League account or a Facebook account, without the account being tied to your social security number.
Yeah.
So listen, guys. So listen, guys. I don't think we're going to get to the root of this particular topic in the time allowed. And I would say to anybody listening, we'll pick this up later, but this may well be our last episode. So thanks for watching, and it's been a ride.
Don't like and subscribe. Don't join our Discord.
There's no point anymore because we're breaking up.